Good evening, everyone. Today is the 19th of August, and I'm coming to you live from New Jersey. And very soon, I'm going to be coming to you live from a place just near you. I just wanted to say how fortunate I feel that after so long, because it's been really a long time, I'm going to be able to see all of you and get a chance to really connect and get back in touch with you. Today's Zoom class is going to be about a back to school topic that I think all of you are very anxious to learn more about for two different reasons. Number one is we always try to keep our kids focused and engaged in their studies. And I know many of you had a break in June, and now July and August, all the students are back at school. You want to make sure that they're doing a good job. They're getting ready for their exams and really pushing hard in this next period of classes. Here in the United States, many students are going back after having had a long summer break. So, you got kind of that summer fuzzy brain, and they're all getting back to just being in class and seeing everyone. And colleges, universities, especially here in the US, are just starting up again. My daughter is already back at university. My son has about 2 more weeks, but he actually has some national exams that he has to take next Saturday and then the Saturday after that. So there's a lot going on. Everybody's involved in their school career and in getting their students back and ready for classes. What's kind of fun about this whole thing also is that our ability to, I'm just trying to mute everyone because I hear a little bit of clicking there, but that's okay. Our ability to focus and to really stay on track never ends. Even when we have long past left school, our ability to really concentrate on what we need, get motivated, and sit down and work can be actually more pronounced as we get older. So we want to make sure that as we're transitioning from our school days to our, say, parenting days, to our maybe empty nester, and then finally into our older years, I want to make sure that our motivation and our focus, our brain focus, is really good. So let me get started. Let me share my screen with you. There we go. Oops. Perfect. Okay. So today we're talking about motivation and focus. Most of you know me already. I've had the great good fortune to be able to meet many of you in person. I can't wait to see you, look into your eyes, hold your hands, give you a hug, and really just hear about everything that's been going on with you. That's my great pleasure as I go and travel around and see all of you in different places. And this trip is no different. I want to say thank you to our Presidential Diamond team. You have done amazing things over these last few months and continue to just grow and blossom. And I am so very proud of you and very honored to be part of this great team that's so much is in service to others. And then finally, I'm inspired by you. And I just want you to know that sometimes you may have that moment where you say, oh my goodness, what am I doing? Please know that I'm thinking about you and I'm thinking about where you are. And each and every person is important to what we do as a team. And our tribe, if you will, is a dynamic one and a growing one. And I think that's wonderful. Okay, you all know that I'm the co-author of Essential Oils Healthcare for Today. Many of the ideas in today's Zoom are taken from this book, and it's fondly known as the LRP book. So today we're talking about focus, motivation, and essential oils. So number one on the hit parade, of course, would be motivate, an encouraging blend. And I stick this here because I just want you to think about your emotional aromatherapy oils, whether they be the small original oils that are non-diluted or your roll-ons. Both of those can be used interchangeably in many ways. You may want to actually turn to your roll-ons on a regular basis if you're going to be carrying them in your purse or briefcase or having them at your desk, because the small original bottles, the 5 milliliter bottles, can be fairly strong. They're great for diffusing. So if you're diffusing, that is the way to go. And when talking about focus and motivation, we want to talk about diffusing. It's super important. Obviously, this student is having a little bit of difficulty. Maybe he's just not motivated. He doesn't want to get started. He doesn't have a lot of papers on his desk, so it doesn't look like he has a lot of hard work to do. However, he might not have gotten enough sleep. His blood sugar levels might be a little bit low. So we want to make sure that no matter what is happening in his surrounding area, he is able to focus and concentrate. And obviously this is an older student, but this is absolutely true for younger students as well. Okay, so emotions and aroma. So emotions can influence your quality of life. Aromas have the potential to change our mood and help us manage our emotions. So whether we're feeling happy or sad, they can really upset our cortisol levels, create an imbalance in our bodies, whether it's biological, physical, or emotional, and allow us to really not be as creative. I read a long article yesterday actually about the science of creativity and how if we can allow ourselves to relax and stay positive and maybe even think of something completely unrelated, we allow our brain to work in different ways. So I tend to listen to a lot of podcasts that are about motivation or work, but last night I got on an older podcast that I hadn't listened to in a while, and it was all about cooking. And for those of you who know me, I actually love to cook and do so almost every day. And it was a completely unrelated podcast. It was about kombucha and the health benefits of kombucha and can you get drunk drinking too much kombucha. But what it allowed my mind to do is just unwind and not continue to think along the same track. I actually dozed off while I was listening to it, and when I woke up I felt refreshed. And this morning I feel a little bit calmer, a little bit less stressed. As you can imagine, this trip was planned very quickly, and so I'm actually staring at a giant pile of all sorts of goodies that I'm bringing to you and clothes that need to be packed and open suitcases. So I'm enthusiastic, and I also feel almost energized, even though I didn't have the opportunity to take a trip. So how do aromas interact with the brain to cause responses? So first of all, aroma is inhaled. It's picked up by the olfactory receptors in the nose. It's processed in the olfactory system, which controls our sense of smell. And the neurons, or the nerve cells, send nerve signals to the brain to identify the smell. Nerve signals transmit information from the olfactory system to the limbic system, where memories and emotions are stored. And then the limbic system actually produces the response. So when we talk about essential oils and we talk about memory, we may actually be able to trigger either specific memories or improve our memory or our mood by using certain essential oils. Same thing when we talk about feelings of focus. Essential oils have that ability to allow us to really block out other things, if you will, and to concentrate what is really at hand. If you've studied yoga or you have any sort of meditative practice, one of the biggest things that many meditative practices talk about is being in the present moment and focusing. Now, we cannot focus indefinitely. That's not a state that we can maintain for hour after hour, but we can maintain sustained focus over shorter periods of time or even longer periods of time that can be very intense and productive. So I like to call those intense periods of focus deep work. What I like about these deep work sessions is that I know that they are structured. So for a limited amount of time, I usually either have some sort of meditative or focusing music while I'm working. And then the last thing that I'll be doing is I'll be diffusing my essential oils to maintain that sense of focus. Okay, so diffuser blends for feelings of focus. So I want you to think about, what have you used in the past and what are you thinking about using? So we think about feelings of focus. We want to make sure that we have something herbal in there. And you can see in most of these, you have either basil or coriander. Also your mint oils, your spearmint, your peppermint are wonderful for increasing feelings of focus and for focusing the brain. And last but not least, you can include your citrus oils. I have to say, I feel like your citrus oils are great for everything. There is not a single thing, whether it's immunity or focus or motivation or other sorts of bodily functions, that your citrus oils should not be included for. Get in the habit of using your citrus essential oils. So the 4 blends here, really simple: basil and lavender, peppermint, balance, and coriander, lavender, bergamot, and lemon, spearmint, peppermint, and again, basil. So blending your different categories of oils, and we're not going to talk about the chemistry wheel today because we've got a lot, want to make this a shorter one. But when you talk about your chemistry wheel, you want to go back to your chemistry wheel and find oils that are in the same category. So if I'm recommending lavender in that first blend or the second blend on the left-hand side, and lavender is not your favorite, you can go onto your chemistry wheel and you can find something with a similar characteristic. Now we know that lavender and petitgrain have very similar characteristics chemically, not the way they smell, but chemically they're very similar. So you could substitute petitgrain. So basil and petitgrain would blend very nicely together. And also petitgrain, bergamot, and lemon would blend very nicely together. Again, for a diffuser blend that would achieve the same purpose. Okay, so let's now talk about motivation. Motivation can mean just about anything. It can mean intrinsic or extrinsic. It can also be motivation to do basic tasks or to follow through on a goal. We talk about intrinsic, that's the motivation that I personally have to complete something. Extrinsic may be either pressure that I'm getting from my team or from my family or from another outside source that's encouraging me to do the thing that I need to do. Now, how can essential oils help with motivation? They can help us to stay on task. They can help us to limit our focus so that we basically put blinders on, like we would put blinders on a horse that we were trying to get to run only in one direction. They can also keep us from feeling discouraged, because very often when we're trying to do something, especially when we're talking about students and motivation, essential oils can focus our purpose and help us to complete the task at hand. I know especially with younger students, many of them can start a task and then just get distracted, not the least of which are things like social media and maybe television. With younger kids also, it's harder. They just want to jump up and run and play. And while that's really wonderful, we want to begin to train them so that they can feel that, this is what that focusing sensation feels like. Okay, diffuser blends for motivation. Black pepper, frankincense, bergamot, and Douglas fir, an excellent one. Grapefruit, lime, again, and Douglas fir. When we're talking about motivation, we're also talking about settling down and really understanding the task at hand. And that's why we've included some of the fir oils, the conifer oils. So if Douglas fir is not your favorite, you could substitute Siberian fir. And if bergamot is not your favorite, you could substitute another citrus oil. Elevation, lime, and motivate, and that's where we go now into our blends. And for diffuser blend, I would use the motivate from the small 5 milliliter bottle. If I was going to create a roll-on, and here's the other thing that you could consider doing, take any of these recipes, add them into a 10 milliliter roller bottle, and then top it off with fractionated coconut oil. If it still wasn't strong enough, I would start doubling up, because there are really not a lot of drops in any of these recipes. So let's take that top left recipe, black pepper, frankincense, bergamot, and Douglas fir. You could easily double that to 2 black pepper, 4 frankincense, 2 bergamot, and 2 Douglas fir. Or if you really wanted something strong, multiply it by 3 or by 4 until you get the scent that you want. I probably wouldn't go over about multiplying by 4, because then you get something that's a lot stronger, and then you may have skin sensitivity, and that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for a blend that's going to motivate you. Of course, we have our pre-blended Motivate blend that comes in the pre-mix roll-on, and if that's easier for you, I strongly recommend it. I love using the doTERRA blends, and more than that, I love recommending the doTERRA blends. We've talked about this on the call many times. Part of the reason why I like the blends is that they are not found anywhere else. I'm going to say that twice because I think it's so important. They are not found anywhere else. Why do we care? We care because when we talk to somebody else about essential oils, and we talk to them specifically about a blend, if they decide they want to use that blend, they must come back to doTERRA. It's going to be hard, or fairly difficult at least, for them to find something that's even similar, definitely not the same. And if they need to mix that up themselves, you know that our blends are very carefully mixed and monitored, and they are determined, the molecular weight is determined in a chemistry lab. So you want to make sure that as much as you can, you're recommending the blends to people, because they're a great way for you to recommend oils to your team. And down in the bottom, you can see the doTERRA Cheer and the Citrus Bliss, a terrific one for rolling on. I like the Citrus Bliss and the Cheer together. Very citrusy. You got a little bit of mint in there, a little bit of vanilla, sort of a fresh scent. That would be something that would be easy to wear. Okay. How to use them. So we've talked about it a little bit. We're definitely talking about applying to our skin. Diffusing is super important. The last way I would think to use essential oils would be to ingest them. And the reason you could ingest them, and not every oil that we've suggested for motivation is ingestible, but sometimes we can feel sluggish because either our digestion is not good, or our other bodily processes are not working perfectly. And so by digesting essential oils, by taking them in internally, we can improve our gut flora and the way we generally feel. So you can take oils internally for motivation or focus. Okay, here are my picks for uplifting and energizing essential oils. Top to bottom: bergamot, blue tansy, Douglas fir, grapefruit, fennel, lemon, lime, peppermint, tangerine, and wild orange. I would also probably include any of the kumquat oils in here. I might include Siberian fir on this list. I want to be honest. I love these oils. They're great for uplifting and energizing. And here are calming essential oils: basil, bergamot, cilantro, coriander, clary sage, jasmine, lavender, neroli, petitgrain, Roman chamomile, spikenard, and vetiver. And not to say that you can use these all interchangeable. You may have your favorites. Some of them are more herbal, like the basil or the coriander, even the clary sage. Some are very floral: the lavender, the jasmine, the neroli, super floral. And then you get things that are more woody smelling, like the vetiver, which comes from, is a very thick resin, as you know. But whether you're picking an herb or a flower or something in between, you know that these are your calming essential oils and can be used for focus very powerfully. Okay, here's a couple of application ideas, and you can take a screenshot of this if you wish. Diffuse basil to promote a sense of focus while studying, reading, or completing other tasks. Motivate to promote feelings of confidence, courage, and belief while counteracting negative emotions like doubt and pessimism. Diffuse frankincense during your morning yoga practice to focus your intention for the day. I like to start my morning with 2 drops of frankincense under my tongue, and I find that that's a great way for me to start my day. Inhale or diffuse peppermint oil for invigorating pick-me-up, or rub on the temples for an energy boost. To boost energy and uplift mood, wild orange between the palms, and inhale the aroma slowly. And finally, use Intune to enhance and sustain a sense of focus when you have difficulty paying attention and staying on task. And you probably know that Intune has coriander in it, and that's, is it coriander or cilantro? That's one of the ones that we listed on our list of suggested oils. Okay, helping children focus. The fresh aroma of coriander makes it both relaxing and stimulating. When your child is working on an important project, diffuse coriander nearby. I have to say, this is exactly what my daughter would do when she was about this age. She would take the pencil and she would kind of sit dreamily, and the pencil would be in one hand, not ready to write, but just kind of off into the blue, into the deep blue. What's interesting is she's now become a very focused student. So you never know. Sometimes kids will start out one way and then change over time. But she just was always in dreamland. When your child is practicing an instrument, learning a new skill, or needs help concentrating, diffusing peppermint or spearmint to stay alert and invigorated. And finally, if they're having difficulty getting ready in the morning, consider placing a citrus essential oil like lemon or lime in the diffuser before they wake up to help give them a jump start. You also know that we have our children's blends, and actually that's our big announcement that the US is offering 25% off. Yes, that's a big number for the, that's an NFR special. Yes, an NFR special. Let me read the actual details here so I don't get confused. What I love about the children's blend is that they do contain a little, not only contain a little bit of everything, but the blends are much simpler. They're blends that are created just for children and really created for children to be able to use on themselves or for parents to be able to use on their children easily. If you know anything about the blends, you know that they are not only color-coded, but they also are coded with a little diagram. So a heart would be anything to kind of raise the spirits and help the child to feel more courageous. A brain is anything for focus. So we think of the oils thinker and also for calmer. And then a little body. It almost looks like a man doing jumping jacks, are for keeping the body healthy and strong, whether it's the immune system or perhaps the muscular system that they have sort of a bump or a bruise. You want to make sure that all of the oils are available to them, and that even if they can't read, they can read those little diagrams and know what it is that they need for themselves. Okay. Oils for meditation. Again, another reason we want focus. We may try to meditate and our brain is just flying all over the place, like what is commonly known as monkey brain. I love the way this lady is just sitting so calmly in this very peaceful blue-gray space. We don't know what's going on in her brain, but we want to assume that it's calmness and peace. So she can diffuse things like lavender. I know many yogis and yoga teachers in this area use lavender on their students or near their students at the end of the yoga practice. You can use balance aromatically or topically while meditating or first thing in the morning to promote harmony. Clary sage to the pulse points, neck and wrist, to promote a calm atmosphere for meditation. 1 or 2 drops of spikenard to the back of the neck or to the temples to promote feelings of calmness and relaxation when meditating. And finally, vetiver as an earthy bass note in your meditation diffuser blend for a grounding effect on the emotions. And I use vetiver in a capsule. I'll take 4 drops if I'm having difficulty sleeping. Okay, promote focus and motivation by combining essential oils with other helpful practices, of course, which is what I mentioned at the beginning. Things like exercise, healthy eating, and adequate sleep will all help to promote focus. I don't know if you have any questions, but if you do, I'm going to ask you to please add them into the chat now. I'm going to talk for a minute about what's coming next and how maybe we can see each other in the next few days. Okay, so additional resources are the doTERRA ebook, Focus, Motivation, and Essential Oils. You can find this on the US website. You don't even have to log in. You can go to additional resources and just type in ebook if you want, or scroll down to the bottom of the first page and find all of the doTERRA ebooks. This is a wonderful one. It has a lot of information. Okay, my schedule. So I arrive in Singapore on the 21st of August at 5:30 p.m. So I will not see you for breakfast that day. I will be in KL from the 23rd to the 25th. And then back again in Singapore from the 25th to the 27th. So it looks like I'm going to be 2 days in Singapore, 2 days in KL, and then 2 days in Singapore again. And then I depart Singapore late in the evening on the 27th of August. Right now, I don't know exactly what times I'm speaking. The only thing that I know is that I will be speaking on 2 times on Saturday at the leadership event in KL. And I will also be speaking in Singapore Monday, August 26th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. in the doTERRA offices. This is come one, come all. I'm going to be talking about emotional health. And you want to make sure that if you are interested in emotional health or you would like to invite someone, that you'll be there for this talk. I think it will be fairly big, I hope, and it's open to all teams. So I think it'll be a crowded event. I'm very excited to be back. I'm very excited that Geraldine has been shepherding me around through all the vagaries of getting my presentations together, and I can't wait to see her again. She's a wonderful lady, and all of you, I'm looking forward to seeing you again too. So just remember, you are amazing. No matter what I say or do, doesn't matter. What matters is really where you're coming from, and that's the most important thing. And I want to make sure that you are going to have a wonderful week, and I want to thank you all for being here. So in the chat, let's see if we can get some questions going. Oops. Shut this down. Oops. Here we go. I'm back. Okay. Okay. And let's see, I want to say, see if we have some, I know we have some prizes here that we want to give away. Everyone wants to hear what the prizes are for today. Hold on. Oops. There we go. Okay. Oh, so today we're going to give away bergamot. 2 bergamots today to lucky, where are my people? Here we go, participants. 2 lucky people are going to win bergamot. Any questions on oils for focus or motivation, where I'm going to be, what I'm going to be talking about, the talks that I'm going to be giving at the leadership event are arranged for me by leadership. I don't pick them, they pick them. And in fact, the talk that I'm going to be doing in the office also, I don't pick it, they pick it. So I'm doing what everybody wants. But if you'd like to get together with me, please just send me a quick message. I'd love to see you. I know I'm going to be seeing a big group of you in KL because you're all going to be there for the leadership event. Okay, so if there are no questions, I'm going to pick the 2 winners today. Like I said, I'm keeping it short. Please keep in mind, everyone, I don't know if everybody heard, I will not be on this call for 2 weeks. So I will not be on next Monday, the 26th, because I'll be traveling and in Singapore at that point. So I'll be seeing a lot of you live. And I won't be on the 2nd of September because it is Labor Day. And so I'll be taking the day off. I'll be back here again September 9th. Okay, and for those of you who are interested, our oil camp is starting on September 9th. If you'd like an invitation to oil camp, if you haven't gone through it yet, please just send me a text message. I'm on WhatsApp. You can find me in a million different places, and just send me a message and say, hey, I'd like to go through oil camp. I haven't had a chance to go through it yet. Okay, let's see who we have here. And look, I have my paper and my pencils today, so I'm not going to forget. Okay, the winners for today are Antoinette Bolanos and Jane Sia. Antoinette Bolanos and Jane Sia, you are each the winners of a bergamot essential oil. So thank you everyone for having been here this evening, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Have a wonderful trip. Please keep me in your prayers over the next couple of days as I make the long journey. I'm actually taking the direct flight to Singapore, if you can believe it. I've never taken that one before. So it should be it should be pretty interesting. We'll see what happens. But at least I'll get there faster, right? I've never taken a direct. What do you think, everybody? Direct? Pretty good, right? I've taken the direct from New York to Hong Kong, which is 15 hours. So this will be 3 additional hours. We'll see how I do. Anyway, have a wonderful next few days. I cannot wait to see you. It's going to be an amazing trip. And I'll see you all very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye now.